Two people earn the exact same salary. Not a big one. A small, ordinary paycheck that lands on the same Friday. 20 years later, one of them is quietly wealthy. The other still can't stop working, still one bad month from disaster. Same income, same city. The only thing that separated them was a 120-year-old Japanese habit that takes about 10 minutes a month, and almost nobody in the West has ever been taught it. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how it works. Because here's the lie we've all been told. That wealth is a problem of income. Earn more, and you'll be fine. So picture two boats leaving the same harbor on the same calm morning. The first is huge, powerful engine, moving fast. But under the waterline it's full of tiny cracks, and the sea is quietly seeping in. The second is small and slow, but its hull is sealed tight. Not a single drop gets through. Sail far enough, and the big fast boat sinks. The small, slow one arrives. The big boat is the high earner. The small boat is the person on an ordinary salary. And the cracks? The cracks are where your money leaks out in the dark, the spending you never actually see. Wealth was never about the size of the boat. It's about the leaks. And 100 years ago, in Japan, a woman figured out how to seal them with nothing but a pen and a notebook. In 1904, a Japanese journalist named Hani Motoko published a simple household ledger for ordinary families. She called it Kakeibo, the household finance book. It wasn't an app. It wasn't a budget the way we think of budgets. It was a quiet ritual you did with a pen, once at the start of every month and once at the end. And it survived for over a century for one reason. It doesn't try to control your spending with willpower, because willpower always fails. It controls your spending with attention. The uncomfortable truth Kakeibo is built on is this. You don't overspend because you're greedy. You overspend because you're not looking. Money leaks in the dark. The entire method is just turning on the light. It comes down to 4 honest questions, and one small habit most people are too proud to do. Hold on to that. We'll get there. At the start of each month, before a single bill is paid, you sit down and answer 4 questions on paper. Question 1. How much is actually coming in? Not roughly, exactly. Most people cannot say this number to the dollar. And that blindness is the very first leak. Question 2. How much do you want to save? And you decide this first, before you spend a cent. This is the reversal that changes everything. You do not save what's left after spending. You spend what's left after saving. The savings come off the top, like a payment to a future version of you who can't fight for themselves yet. Question 3. How much will you spend, and on what? Kakeibo splits every expense into 4 jars: survival, culture, pleasure, and the unexpected. Every dollar has to walk into one of those 4 jars. None get to wander off. And question 4, the one that changes people. At the end of the month, you go back, you look at the real numbers, and you ask one honest thing. Where did the water get in? No shame, no punishment, just the light, turned on one more time. Because a leak you can see is a leak you can seal, and a leak you refuse to look at will sink you slowly for the rest of your life. But those 4 questions only work because of one tiny habit underneath them. And it's the part people resist the most. You write it down, by hand. Every meaningful expense, in a notebook, with a pen. It sounds almost insultingly simple. In a world of apps that track everything automatically, why would slowness be the point? Because that's exactly it. The app tracks the money for you, which means you never actually feel it leave. The pen forces a pause, a few seconds where the spending becomes conscious instead of automatic. And in that tiny pause, something happens no app can do. You catch yourself. You feel the 3rd coffee of the day. You notice the subscription you forgot you were paying. The leak gets sealed not in a spreadsheet, but in the half second before you reach for your wallet. Studies of people using Kakeibo found they cut their spending by around a quarter. Not because they earned a single dollar more. Not because they suffered. But because, for the first time in their lives, they were simply paying attention. And here's where it stops being about money at all. After a few months, the questions stop feeling like accounting. They start to feel like a mirror. You realize your bank statement was never a record of your income. It was a record of your attention, a precise map of what you actually value, written in the only language that never lies. The person on the small salary who runs Kakeibo isn't restricting themselves. They've done something deeper. They've stopped being a passenger on the boat and become the captain. Every dollar now has a job, a name, a destination. Nothing leaks out in the dark anymore, because there is no more dark. That is the real Japanese secret. It was never about earning like the big boat. It was about sealing the hull so well that a small, steady income could carry you further than a large, leaking one ever could. So you don't need a bigger boat. You need to find your cracks and seal them, one honest question at a time. Start tonight. Pick up a pen and write down the single expense you already know is a leak. The small, automatic thing that drains your wallet every month while you're not looking. Write it down. Name it. And take the quiet vow every Kakeibo practitioner takes. I command my money. It does not command me. Do that for 30 days, and you won't just have more money. You'll have something most people never get, the feeling of being in control. I'll see you in the next one.